Work-life balance is a luxury for people without ambition. I'd agree. I'd agree. I think when you are starting out, you have to do such a disgusting amount of work to get the thing off the ground that I don't think you should optimize for work-life balance. Hey guys, it's Dami Okudara here from Clientele Boosters, and we're doing another game show where it's myself versus entrepreneurs. A bit about me: I run a multi-seven-figure marketing agency in Melbourne, Australia, with over 100 clients and 80 staff. And today I'm looking to disagree with entrepreneurs all around Melbourne CBD. Let's get it. What's your name? Pranav, nice to meet you, Dami. Okay.
So you said that when you start off, you should not optimize for work-life balance. I believe that balance is subjective. Yep. What I mean by that is, to me, balance is not 50-50. To me, balance could be whatever balance is to me. And what is balance
to you, just out of curiosity?
Balance to me is when I'm about to burn out, that's when I take a few days off.
How do you describe burning out, just so we have the same definition?
Burnout to me is like my body gets weaker, I feel sicker.
Do you think you're working on the wrong things then?
No,
because
I think I'm just not going.
The entrepreneurial journey is about psychological fitness as well as physical fitness.
Exactly.
I got more energy. I was able to make more money when I was going to the gym every day.
Exactly.
Compared to when I was trying to drink coffee and balance corporate and grow my business.
So we agree.
So I think we agree that you should focus a lot more on the business, and maybe you're focusing the wrong energy on the wrong things. If you're optimizing for growing the business, then you have to optimize yourself. I don't think you should focus on balance. I think you should focus on optimizing the business, which just forces you to optimize yourself, because the skill of the business and the strength of the business is the result. That's okay. That's okay.
No.
Interrupt me. It's okay.
No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
I'm typing up, bro.
Okay. What's your name?
Sean.
Sean, nice to meet you, Dan.
Nice to meet you. What was the last
Lovely
thing?
hair, by the way.
I appreciate it, man.
Girls get the girls.
All days.
East African?
You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing.
Come on. Tell me.
Don't tell my secret.
Okay, I won't.
I think your statement was correct. However, I think...
So we agree?
We agree.
Amazing.
I disagree on one point.
Yep.
Which is work-life balance. It depends on your definition of what balance is.
How do you define balance?
I'd say balance is always hitting that goal of getting out of your comfort zone, but coming back to equilibrium.
How do you define equilibrium?
Equilibrium by...
Some could find equilibrium as growth, perpetual growth.
Put that stress on your body, but be able to give it the chance to recover.
How are you stressing out your body?
By putting yourself in uncomfortable situations.
Okay, but when you're...
On a consistent basis.
Absolutely, but I'd like to agree with you that you are putting stress on your body when you're doing something entrepreneurial, but there is a way to push yourself and still extend limits without burning out.
You're focusing on entrepreneurship, you're focusing on money.
Oh no!
What's the point of me getting this money?
The growth of the business is correlative to the personal growth of the
What's
owner.
the point of me trying to make all this money but not having that lifestyle that I can
Who said
balance?
entrepreneurship is just about money?
Are you talking about?
It's about leadership and team development.
What's the definition of being uncomfortable in entrepreneurship?
Absolutely, being uncomfortable is doing what's necessary even when I don't feel like it. I mean, you have to shower every day. Are there sometimes when you're like, oh, after work, I just want to get to sleep, and you know you have to shower, and you do because you have to, but you can't really be bothered? I look at my business the same way. I work 7 days a week. Some days I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with this annoying client that always calls my phone at 12 a.m., but I deal with it anyway. It's responsibility. Entrepreneurship is responsibility.
So it's a mental game.
Well, everything's a mental game.
Okay, but so if it's a mental game, then you should also be able to understand that working hard doesn't define success.
Well, absolutely it doesn't, but working smart does. And a lot of people don't work hard enough to get to the point where
how do
they're
you work
working
smarter? How do you work
By
smarter?
making good decisions and understanding responsibility.
How do you make good decisions?
I think a few people have flagged you out. Good job. What's your name?
Numan.
Numan, nice to meet you, Dami.
Nice to meet you. So now, for you to believe that work-life balance is ambitious is to...
Work-life balance is to ambition.
Oh, sorry. No. As in that when you've got work-life balance, that's a luxury, right?
I think it is for most people starting.
However, how can you say that work-life balance exists in the first place if work is life?
Great.
So if you're trying to say that you want to develop your skills or whatever it is, you have to make that ambition your life. That's what it takes, right? Afterwards, then you can focus on that. But that doesn't come until you're maybe 50, 60.
I don't think it comes to 50, 60, but I love your reframe on the terminology. I'm using the archetypal, stereotypical work-life balance, which means you work 8 hours a day and then you're resting. I genuinely think especially if you're sub 35, there is no reason why you can't be working 10 to 16, and I mean legit working 10 to 16 hours a day until you're at a point where you can either leave your corporate job or, get to the next level to hire an employee. What I can tell you is between the ages of 17 to 23, I legitimately worked 80 to 90 hours a week consistently. And I still went out to the clubs.
Your work became life.
Priority.
So you agree with me?
In what way?
That your work became your life.
I wouldn't say work became my life, it became my priority. I mean, life is everything. Life is when I'm eating, it's when I'm talking to you, it's when I'm doing my business. But what I think what you have to understand is when you're starting a business, we're using the stereotypical work-life balance. You work 8 hours, then you rest 5 hours. I think you should prioritize the work so you can then, for lack of better words, for general understanding, enjoy your life better.
Is the saying not, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life?
There is that saying.
There is. Do you disagree or agree with that?
I disagree with that.
As a general
I
statement.
disagree with that because I think everything, even if you're an NBA player, there's going to be good and bad games. If you're a singer, there's going to be good and bad performances.
100%. You are in no way wrong with that. However, and this is strictly applicable to me, can't say this for everyone, I love my job. I could be
24/7.
It's physically impossible for me to do my
Do
job.
you enjoy it?
24/7.
If you could, would you 24/7?
If it was physically feasible without detriment to my physical health, 100%. My work is so social. I get to choose, for the most part, if I get to work with my friends. So my social life then becomes intertwined with my work life. I'm constantly meeting new people, forming new friendships, connections. It's very mentally stimulating. So
Do you ever get tired? Ever?
physically or just of the job?
Any direction?
Of course, you always get fatigue and whatnot.
And when you're tired, does that mean you want to keep working anyway?
Yes, I love money.
24. You love money.
I love money.
Awesome. What if you were driven more by money than your actual job? Because some people
But
are
they
driven
go
different.
hand in hand.
Well, in your situation, they do. But did you know that different people have different drivers? Some people love mating. They want to make a lot of money. If you notice, a lot of billionaires, they really shit with women, but a lot of them got rejected by women or were bullied in high school. So a lot of the reason why they had enough insecurity to make billions of dollars is because they were shit with women. A lot of them are driven by mating. But a lot of people, a portion of
And
people are
look at
driven
them
by
now,
straight money.
surrounded by 20-year-olds at the age of 65. They
Repeat
got
that?
what they wanted, didn't they?
Repeat that?
The people who you say were rejected by the mean girls and are now burnt out.
I didn't say the girls are mean, by the way. I mean, I'm a feminist, you know?
No, you bitches are mean.
Women are mean. Bitches are
We're
mean.
horrible.
Women are bitches?
We're horrible.
I don't think
but
women are bitches.
You can no, but we can.
I think
be.
women are incredible
we can
people.
be, and we can monetize it
Okay.
because I've done that myself.
Well done.
Thank you
Shout out
so
to that.
much.
I respect the hustle.
And you have to. And
I love
respecting the hustle, sometimes you've got to make sacrifices.
So there is a sacrificial element. And
Yes,
sometimes sacrifice isn't
but
always happy.
You've got to find a way to make work and life combine.
Yes.
Which is what I've managed to do. I
But
found
you're-
myself in an industry where I can combine my social.
The social stimulation, the mental stimulation. But I
Exactly.
do think, and maybe I'm wrong, that there are times when you do get fatigued, and sometimes that fatigue does lead, even if it's temporarily, to a bit of, I don't want to do this right now. Has that ever happened before?
100%.
Because you did said you'll never work a day in your life with that
specifically to
archetypal
me,
saying.
When I do get that, I don't want to do this anymore, it's not the necessary.
Doesn't that mean you
the
kind
job.
of have contradicted yourself then, partially? And we're humans, we're
Partially,
all
yes.
contradictions.
Partially in the sense of the job isn't what I'm like, ugh, I wish I wasn't doing this.
Yeah.
It's the individual in which I'm sharing that workspace with. Luckily for me, I have that freedom and choice because of where I've gotten myself
do
to
think-
go,
and I think
don't
you're
wanna
making
do
great
this
points.
anymore, and I can go still do that job I love
Yeah.
with a better environment, better person,
Yes.
because I've got that.
And you have that
Freedom.
flexibility. But I do think
100%.
that the origin of the statement, if I'm not wrong, was work-life balance is a luxury. I'm saying that at the start of your entrepreneurial journey, you should be focusing exclusively on work.
I think
You might
if you're good
agree.
at what
If you agree,
do,
it's okay, by the way.
I think
You know,
if
I
you're
think
good
it's a
at what
fair
you
statement to
do,
make.
I wouldn't call it a luxury, I'd call it an option.
So work-life balance is an option.
Person dependent, yeah.
Okay, but for the average person watching this that perhaps doesn't have the same flexibility that your job has. I mean, I don't think everyone...
The average person isn't an entrepreneur.
Absolutely, but the average entrepreneur that's watching this, do you think they should go into it thinking work-life balance is what I should aim for in the first 5 years of running the business? Or do you think they should focus on working their ass?
I think if you want to be successful, suck it up for a little bit.
I think we're on the same page. Great.
Yeah. Stunning.
Great. I think that's a good round. Next statement. Yeah,
I think a lot of people here have made a lot of good points.
absolutely.
I want to define what work-life balance means to people.
Okay, what does it mean to you?
Work-life balance means to me like some people consider going to the gym work. because they're working on their body.
Okay.
I love going to the gym. It's not work for me,
I like that.
right?
Yeah.
Me going to a shoot, it's entrepreneurial based.
Yeah.
However, I'm shooting with clients.
Yeah.
It's not work to me.
Yeah.
I get to hang out.
Yeah.
So in that, and agreeing with the lovely lady behind you as well, in that, my work actually becomes my life.
Okay.
And so there's no work-life balance.
So you have a similar description to him. But the average person that's watching, because I think your descriptions are fair, by the way. But I think to the average person that's watching, say they just started a Shopify store. And they're like, you know what, I want to sell this product. I got the supplier in China from Outlook. And they're like, you know what, I'm going to work for 2 hours a day, watch 2 hours of, you know, Jordan whatever and whatever course seller. And then I'm going to chill with my mates for the other 10 hours of the day. Who do you think has better odds, that person or the person that's studying 12 hours a day,
Well,
testing
I think
12
at the end
hours
of
a
the
day?
day, it just comes down to your goals at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but my question was, who do you think has better odds of succeeding? The first or the second person? Just if we're being honest.
Well, yes. Okay, I agree with you then. If
I think we're in agreement then. I mean, what are we talking about? We're in agreement. Like the more hours you do, the more you're going to win.
That makes sense, 100%.
Great.
Fair enough.
There you go. Next topic.
Work is not always work though. Have fun, right?
Most businesses fail because founders are mentally weak.
I tend to agree with that. Yeah.
I agree with that, but I feel like it's also something you have to add on to that, not just that alone.
Sure.
I think it's a lack of ability to use your creative mind and imagination.
Isn't that mentally weak though? Like under the same umbrella? I mean, not to be disagreeable, but it just kind of sounds like it's under the same.
I think it's not about weak. I think it's about exposure and understanding. You can start off weak, but as long as you have that growth going on.
But with exposure and understanding, like we've all seen that a lot of really rich, like people that have rich parents and that, you know, trust fund kids, a lot of them can be, you know, they end up doing coke at fucking the Emerson or something because they're so like sensitive.
Of course.
So they didn't really have the grit to kind of build it from scratch. And no disrespect.
I highly disagree with that. I feel
Okay.
like the more experience, the more exposure you get, you understand wealthy families actually teach their kids.
So you think exposure is directly correlated?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel the kids you're talking about.
I think it's genetic.
I think the kids you're talking about, their parents probably failed them at home to show them how they got this
But
well.
they had direct exposure.
Doesn't mean they spend time with their dad. At
But
the
you said
business side.
exposure.
Of course. But what exposure did they get? Having access to money.
Absolutely. You
Well,
learn how
access-
you learn how to present yourself.
Access to how they made that money. How their parents showed them the
talk
blueprint of how
about
they
that
got this
at the
well.
dinner table with
There
you?
are so many families out here who actually have generational wealth where they teach the kids and they take on their family's business and they expand it.
I agree.
There's so many cases of wealthy kids taking the wealth and losing it and using it and abusing
Absolutely.
it. And there's so many cases of them learning it and expanding on it.
Absolutely.
It just comes down to the mental aspect, how much
Yes.
exposure they have and
the
their
premise
drive.
of the question was about the mental strength of them being weak. So I think we're actually in alignment. I think a lot of it, when I say weak, by the way, it could mean all kinds of weakness because to not use your creativity is also a sign of weakness.
What would you say is the most general definition of mentally weak?
The inability to adapt.
Okay, so when you go to the gym and you start off, everyone's weak at the start.
Yeah.
It's about the ambition and the drive to
It's
improve.
the inability to adapt.
Okay.
If your muscles, you stretch your muscles and they repair and they get better. And then you learn how to do more weight and less weight and you learn how to be more flexible. But in order for you to do that, you have to be able to want to adapt.
So would you be able to rephrase the sentence to most businesses fail? Because
I didn't
of
make the statement. I'm just telling you what the statement was.
Because of their inability to adapt, not because they're mentally weak.
But I think mental
Is the
weakness
inability
is
to
a
adapt.
demonstration of, I think we're in
All
agreement.
day.
Great. There's some good arguments for the other side. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Appreciate
Alright.
the platform.
Hey, man. Still my job.
But you're basically saying that you believe skills are more important than status.
Yes.
I 40% agree with that.
Okay.
Right? Because the rest, I think nepotism exists.
Absolutely.
And when I think of status, I also think of network. So
Yes.
I don't know whether you determine networking is a skill.
I think it is a skill.
but
That I will agree with.
If you already had a pre-existing network, though, is that a skill? That's just status, right? Because
It
that's
is
my
status.
argument.
You're right.
So, for example, if I went to a private school where all
I mean, you're dressed like a private school. You got the scarf, you know, with the glasses, you know.
Well, I did go to private school.
Hey, it's chill, man.
Yeah, but anyways, what was I talking about? Yeah, so if I went to like a private school, we're talking like, you know, top level type. If in India, for example, right? If there's a billionaire, his name is Ambani. He has his own school, and the top 1%, all of their kids go to that same school, and majority of the population don't have access to that school.
Yep.
So if you're born into that family, you're born with that status.
Yep.
I think that determines they will 100% become more wealthy due to nepotism
Yep.
than someone who has more skills.
Interesting. Okay. Great point. So I, again, partially agree with you. I wouldn't quite say 40%. Let's use some statistics. Most millionaires are made through real estate. Okay. You can look that up. When it comes to billionaires, yes, a lot of them have inherited, but 70% are self-made. That means they're first generation billionaires, right? Now, yes, even if you look at Elon Musk, his dad was a millionaire. Donald Trump, his dad already had was a multi-millionaire in real estate, ironically. But the skill part is where you're able to transfer knowledge and make it a reality. There's a lot of people, for example, that can watch a video on YouTube about how to start a marketing agency, much like yourself. But how many people actually successfully get an agency to the revenue that yours is at? Very few, right? That skill is what allows you to be able to actually build something that is long-standing. Whereas when you rely just on status or even fame, if I had someone with 1 million followers and I had someone that's already built a business to 100K a month, I'm picking that person that can build a business to 100K a month because I know that if they were to get 1 million followers, they could turn that into 10 million a month. But there's someone that's already just got 1 million followers but haven't built a business before. Their skill is mainly focused on acquiring attention, not converting that attention into money, right? So status is great for leverage, but I think if you look at the general population of people, the people that come from a wealthy family or a connected family, compared to someone that has put in the hours, again, linking back to the last question of hours and reps, I think if you look at an overarching curve, that person will over time beat them if they apply the skills. But also skill requires time. They say 10,000 hours. I think it's way more than 10,000 hours. By the time I was 25 years old, I already made 1 million cold calls, 1 million cold calls. I don't even think I'm a great salesperson. I don't say that to be humble. I say that to be factual. There's way better salespeople. But I know that if there's a rich kid that has an agency just like me and we're doing the same amount of revenue, I'm not worried about his connections. I know my team will outskill him quickly. Make sense? But I think network's important, but I think skills are more important.
All right, bro.
Okay. But great point. It's a great point. Huh?
That's facts.
You just got Skool.
Back again.
That's it.
What was the statement? Is skill more important than status?
Status is more important than skill.
I think status is something that is key in entrepreneurship. It might not have to be the igniting factor. Skill is 100% what it takes, but you have to eventually fall into status.
How do you define status?
I would define status as a hierarchy of knowing who has what resource, capability, and skill and network.
Yep.
So I feel like from my experience in working for different companies and jobs, eventually the hierarchy goes to the CEO, right? To get his time is so hard to acquire his time because of his status. Because his time and his value of who he is measured to a certain number that you can equate to financially. That's why everyone goes for, I charge this much for my hour.
Yeah.
That is status because of what you have and who you are.
Okay.
Networking is key, right? For any kind of business endeavor, networking is key. So skill set is what gets you in the door. Status is what gets you known for your skill set.
Interesting.
I think they work hand in hand.
Interesting. I do think they work hand in hand, but let's take it away from business. You're single, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're a male, so you like women, I'm assuming? I might be wrong.
I love women.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Are there people that make more money than you, that have status, they're known, they've got followers, but maybe they're not as verbally gifted at you when it comes to speaking to women?
Absolutely.
Okay, but they have more status than you. Then how come you can get more women than them?
But the thing is, they can get them
Because you have more skill.
They can get them. They can get them. But they can get
the way
them.
you're verbally. You're well dressed. You're great at talking. You're charismatic. You have more skill. A lot of people leverage status, and status can open the door. Status, by the way, can get a lot more women DMing you. Doesn't mean they like you.
Of course.
They just the door's open. But there is dating coaches, ugly ones, which we've all seen before on YouTube, where they're just really charismatic and they're able to create a better dynamic compared to the super rich guy that has no character.
Status can get you them, but the skill keeps them.
Well, status, I think, is an exaggerator of skill, but I think you need the skill.
Status itself, to have status and to maintain status, is a skill in its own.
To maintain status is definitely a skill, but if we're using the definition as per Pranav, it can be family, it can be network, it can be the school. The status will get you, if you're applying for a job, right? 100%, if you want to make multiple 6 figures a year, a lot of them will look at your, university status, or what university you went to. But post-COVID, I'm telling you this as someone who has 100 clients where they're employing people all the time. They 100% want to know how skilled and competent you are. They might be like, oh, this person went to Melbourne Uni. I'll interview them. But if this person, used to be a drug addict, but they're freaking amazing at cold calling, hiring the fucking crap motherfucker, man.
Absolutely. But the point I'm trying to make sure of is that to understand status is to understand how to grow as well into the big leagues.
Not necessarily.
Because you kept mentioning status and you kept referring to women as the way, you can get access to women.
And vice versa.
People talk, right? Status applies to every human being. how people treat you, how people look at you, how people talk to you. And I feel like status is how you carry yourself first, and then it reflects on how people treat you based on how you carry yourself. So I would say is that status is something that you don't have to start off with status, but you have to definitely try to acquire status, because status is power, status is domination, status is what makes people respect you, and status is what gets you into a lot of doors.
Status definitely will get you into a lot of doors, and I agree that
And your
status-
ability to capitalize once those doors open is when your skill set comes into play.
I think skill is something to focus. For everyone watching that doesn't have, you know, a network like me and yourself. I mean, I was born in an island, Fiji, 1999. Notoka, to parents that were not, and I hate when I say this on camera, but they didn't have money.
Humble
They
beginnings.
didn't have money at all, right? They came to country Victoria, had my brother, so they did it from scratch. But I had no network, and I've got billion-dollar clients. So I think skill over time is more important than status, but status 100% will get you through the door.
Absolutely.
But I don't think for the average person, it's the right advice to tell them to focus more on that compared to
Absolutely,
skill.
man. We're in agreement.
I love the points you made. Good stuff. That was great.